Okay, so if you're watching this video, you screwed up your shoulder. You have a shoulder injury. You have pain with bench pressing and shoulder pressing. So in the first couple clips, I'm going to show the exercises I did as far as modifying my program. I usually do dumbbell shoulder presses, but ever since the injury, I had to switch over to a Smith shoulder press. That seemed to be more manageable. It was still uncomfortable. You can kind of see me moving that shoulder around, but it was doable, and I was able to move weight without aggravating my pain too much. I did notice though with a Smith bench press, it was the bench presses that really just bugged and really irritated that shoulder pain. So I was only able to do, for example, on 2 plates where I usually do a couple reps, I just could only do 2 reps because the pain was just too unbearable. And because I have, I'm a therapist and I've been in PT school, so I know a thing or two about the body, hopefully, right? But I was suspicious that I had injured my rotator cuff on the left side, specifically between that supraspinatus and infraspinatus muscles. Basically, they help either flex, abduct the shoulder, rotate it. Essentially, those seem to be damaged based on how it felt better moving weight on a stable machine like a Smith machine. So here are all the exercises I did during my recovery process. So if a rotator cuff is injured, you give it time to heal, then you work on isolating those muscles as best as you can and strengthening them, because again, a rotator cuff stabilizes that glenohumeral joint, that ball and socket, that shoulder. So starting off with an external rotation, lying on your side, working against gravity, and then here progressing into a shoulder press movement, doing an inverted kettlebell. That's gonna kind of challenge that shoulder a little bit more. You can kind of see how much my hand is just shaking, dude. Like, it was like weak. So that's how I knew I was targeting the right things, because it was challenging, and I could just feel that those muscles burning. You can just see how much I'm struggling with it here. The third one is working on abduction. So here I'm in a 45-degree angle, not straight out to the side, not straight out in the front, but going to light. I believe these were either 2.5s or 5-pounders. It was nothing crazy, but the lighter you go, the better you can target the supraspinatus muscle, so to speak, because as you get heavier, that deltoid it's just gonna kick in. I mean, like, you can't work your rotator cuff muscles on heavy loads. That's just not going to happen. It's going to recruit the big boys, the delts. And I think that's why the injury, I was able to work out still, because the big muscles kick in when it's compound movements, especially on like a Smith machine, something that it doesn't require a lot of stability. With this next movement, again, working on that shoulder press variation, just because that's what I was having issues with. That's what I was having pain with, and weakness was showing with this. So doing an isometric hold, so pulling the band apart to really engage not just the delts, but the rotator cuff muscles. So kind of like trying to externally rotate, trying to pull my hands out and then pressing up to engage those muscles, kind of teaching them to recruit through that movement. And then here, going back into an external rotation, so pulling the band, kind of rotating that wrist out. That's the main movement, the main muscle function of the infraspinatus. Here I'm doing a little bit more dynamic movements. So walking is the dynamic part, but holding the weight up high requires my shoulder to work on stability. Open chain meaning my hand's not on a surface, so it's requiring my shoulder muscles, the rotator cuff, the delt, to work on stabilizing as I hold that inverted kettlebell. And there's going to be a part 2 as far as how to progress these, so check it out.